Last week on The Murder Game, 10 amateur investigators began their hunt for a fictional killer and a £25,000 reward.
Yeah, we need to split into 3 teams.
They were faced with 9 suspects, all played by actors. One of them is the killer.
Can you not grab me? Don't grab me!
They started to uncover clues that put them on the trail of the murderer.
You got it? You got it? Yeah.
Oh, Rory, great!
But they have to be careful. Each week, one investigator will be eliminated in the killer's game.
Hello?
Last week, Christine was the first to go. The next stage of the investigation is about to get underway in the morning briefing. Last week, the investigators learned the victim was called Catherine Pryor. She was murdered in the church where her sister Goldie was due to be married to childhood sweetheart Jay Wilmington later that day. After a high-speed chase, the investigators lost the killer and the getaway car. It belonged to Dean Garrity, the best man at the wedding. Now he's missing, along with videotape he filmed of Catherine just before she was murdered. The chief runs the briefings. Bob Taylor is a real murder squad detective with 30 years' experience.
Good morning. Before we go any further, we need to appoint a new lead investigator. We will honour the wishes of the investigator who did not return.
Should I not return, I would like to choose Nick Sykes to be lead investigator. That's because I think he is quite methodical in his ways. I think he puts a lot of thought into what he does.
Nick, would you take your seat, please? These are the 9 suspects. One of them killed Catherine Pryor, eliminated Christine on the killer's game, and left a clue for Sarita, who survived. Have you got any ideas? Have you seen this? Meryl, what do you think it is?
Well, Catherine Parr lived at Millfield's caravan site, so perhaps it's a key to a caravan or something.
Good thinking, Meryl. Right. It seems likely that that key might fit Catherine Pryor's caravan. Our first line of inquiry is to conduct an intelligence search, looking specifically for personal items of information that might tell you about her relationships. The second line of inquiry, Dean Garrity, the best man, is missing, along with the video of the wedding preparations that were taking place in the church. We don't know whether he's involved in the car chase that Rory, Meryl and Sarita were involved in. But I have got some news. A passerby has found an abandoned car. It fits the description, make and colour of the car that you chased. What might you find in that vehicle?
Possibly the video.
Possibly the murder weapon.
DNA.
Exactly, Sarita. This car could be bristling with evidence. Right, our third line of inquiry is to see Jennifer Wilmington. She's the groom's mother. She was organising Jay and Goldie's wedding. Find out who was attending the wedding and find out what else she knows.
As lead investigator, Nick picks the teams. He puts Mervyn and Richard in Team 1. They will search Catherine's caravan. Sam, Sarita and Meryl are Team 2. They'll investigate the abandoned car. Team 3 is Andrew, Mel and Rory. They'll speak to Jennifer Wilmington.
Right, so when you're all out today, make sure that you're asking about Dean. He's still missing and he is a key suspect. It's really important that you find him. Off you go.
First out are Mervyn and Richard. They're following up on the killer clue. They're heading for the Millfields caravan site where the victim, Catherine Pryor, lived. As with all the teams, they will face a hidden test. They find Catherine's caravan, but the key doesn't fit.
There we go.
Catherine's father, Frank Pryor, has arrived. He's one of the 9 suspects.
You girls stay in the car. We'll sort out this. Excuse me? What are you doing?
Good afternoon, Frank. Are you okay?
Oh, it's you. Yeah?
It's SI Merchant and SI Sharrett.
Oh, yeah, sorry we haven't met before. I'm sorry to hear about the circumstances.
Yeah, okay. Well, what can I do for you?
Catherine left a daughter, Anya, and Frank claims he's come to get some of her possessions.
Why won't they let him in? I don't know.
With Anya in the car is her babysitter, Vanessa March. She is also a suspect.
Don't worry, you'll be able to get in there eventually.
Fortunately, Frank has a key that does fit.
Right.
Whoa. Okay.
Right, I want these photographs.
We can get the photographs to you very shortly. It's just that if you can give us a moment, there might be something there that may just help us to find the killer of your daughter. And I'm sure, from your point of view, that's quite a big priority.
It is.
Yeah.
This is my granddaughter, please.
Okay.
She's just going to get a couple of toys off the bed. Look, you can see the toys from here.
No, we did say, didn't we explain?
Yeah, but let her take her toys, for God's sake.
Can I just ask you a question, Vanessa? When was the last time you saw
Thanks very much, Mr. Brown.
Dean Garrity?
Sunday night at the pub.
The pub.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Right, I need to take Vanessa now. Anya's getting a little bit upset.
Did Catherine have a boyfriend?
Not that I know of. No.
Right. Okay.
Vanessa, can you go and sort Anya? She's getting upset. Right, I've got to go now.
Okay.
I'm leaving you these keys. Don't lose them, because I've just changed the locks and you won't be able to get in if you haven't got these keys.
One quick question. The very last one.
Yeah. This key. Is that any significance at all?
That's the old key. That won't fit these locks.
That was Catherine's key, was
Catherine's
it?
key.
Right.
The test for Team 1 is to find the vital piece of evidence hidden in the caravan.
It's not.
It doesn't take Richard long to find something he thinks is important.
You got me.
GF Mills, Shed 4, 4 p.m, 15th to the 11th, 02. GF Mills, 4 p.m, 15th to the 11th, that's tomorrow.
So she's meant to meet someone tomorrow.
I'm sure as we drove around, I might have seen GF Mills somewhere, like, big, like a literal mill. A flour mill or something with GF Mills.
Hey Nick, how you doing, mate? We've come across a little bit of information.
Hi, I'm Mervyn, I'm 30 years old, I live in Hackney, London, and I'm a visual merchandiser. I've got a good eye for detail, and that's probably what I've taken on board from my day-to-day work activities. I think that skill's going to help me in a sense that when we're out there investigating, asking questions, taking on board information, I think it will help me in those lines, because it's a skill that I've trained up and I've had for years.
Mel, Rory and Andrew are about to meet a new suspect. They're heading to Creeksea Place to interview Jennifer Wilmington. The Wilmingtons have lived at Creeksea for generations. 3 family members currently reside. The elderly owner, Tony Wilmington, his sister Felicity, and his wife Jennifer.
Hang on like that. Who are these people?
Jennifer is one of the 9 suspects accused of Catherine's murder.
Oh, it's only a small place.
Right.
Don't worry, Jennifer will sort them out.
Probably a butler will answer the door.
Excuse me. May I help you?
Mrs. Wilmington.
This is private property. What do you want?
Team 3's line of inquiry is to question Jennifer about her son Jay's wedding, which was supposed to take place on the day of the murder.
We are really quite interested, actually, if you have a copy of the wedding list of the people that will come into the wedding, if possible.
Absolutely.
And
I'll give you those. Thank you.
as well, also, were you here the morning of the wedding?
I did go out, actually. I went out about 9:30. I have an antique room shop in Malden, and came back about 11:15.
11:15?
Yeah.
Where was Jay at the time?
Jay, I think, was in the house somewhere.
Your problem there, is that from the leaking roof?
That's the leaking roof. There's a gutter outside that comes all the way down here.
I'm very disappointed with Andrew's performance in the group. I've had to work with him twice now, and each time I've worked with him, it's been the same. He doesn't take down vital information. He doesn't ask the right questions. He just confuses matters a little bit.
All of us are probably a bit over into it at the moment. I'm quite happy to be the way I am because I feel if I took too much on board, I wouldn't be able to cope because there's so much information with this case. I mean, as I told Rory, I said I still think it's a robbery.
Did you have much interaction with Dean Garrity at all?
Yes, I've known him for years. He's Jay's best friend. I haven't seen him since the rehearsal, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Team 3's day is about to take an unexpected turn. 10 miles away, Jay Wilmington has discovered he's had a break-in. He calls his mother, who tells the investigators.
Someone's broken into his houseboat. So I said you'd go down and see him when he finished with us. If you finished.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Sam, Sarita and Merrill have arrived at the abandoned vehicle. It matches the description of the wedding car used by the killer to make their getaway. Team 2's line of inquiry is to get as much evidence from the car as they can.
Could we put a first cordon just across the gate and then cordon the car off, or what do you think?
Well, the thing is, it looks like as if it's a fairly well-used track.
But it might help us to not have anybody come through the gate while we're here. What do you think?
But Merrill, Sam and Sarita can't agree on where the crime scene cordon should go.
It's your call.
Well, it isn't really.
What do you want us to do? War vote, democratic vote. No way.
I mean, there's been an awful lot of movement here already, so...
Yeah, I just, it's not...
It takes them 20 minutes to put up 12 feet of tape.
Err on the side of caution, I think. Yeah. Oh my God! Oh hell. It's a complete burnout, so much for DNA.
Did anyone get the registration number?
I think we've got it if we're lucky on the back there that's blown off.
Everybody stand back! Don't come any further, guys. Stay back, yeah?
Can I request your team move as little as possible, please?
Bye-bye DNA.
Oh
dear God.
Hello, I'm Sam Matthews. I'm 30 years of age and I'm a communications centre officer working with elderly and people with special needs. I've always been interested in murder mysteries and obviously the situations having children. I've never had the opportunity to go on a murder mystery weekend or anything like that. I always seem to be doing things for other people, so it'd be nice to take just time out for myself and do something exciting, and I can look back in years to come and say, I did that.
Nick, Richard and Mervyn are ploughing through hours of CCTV tapes from the petrol station that suspect Frank Pryor claims to have been at when his daughter was murdered. His alibi rests on the content of the tapes.
Is that Frank again?
Just go back a bit. It's definitely him because it was.
Yeah, it's him.
He drove forward.
Done the exact same
he opened
thing.
the door in
Look,
reverse.
done the exact same thing.
This is Frank from another angle. So what's he doing here then?
He's counting money. Look, in the pocket.
So it's like, have you got the goods? Yeah.
Look, counting. Give it him. See you later, mate. Look after yourself. Be lucky. You know what it is? The reason he's being dodgy with us is because he's either buying stolen goods and didn't want anybody to know about it, or he's handling again.
He's got his own. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his own story going on.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
And he's scared of investigators because He's got a record, and the last thing he wants to do is go back inside for doing the same thing again. He's still willing and dealing. He's an Essex lad, you know what I mean? And he's got contacts.
But go back to very simple facts. It's 11:44. What's happening in 6 minutes' time?
Somebody's going to get murdered.
Someone's going to get murdered.
So he couldn't have been there.
No.
Richard's way ahead of the others. Frank is cleared and is no longer a suspect. But 8 still remain.
I think I'm doing a great job. Team leader is not an easy job by any standards. I mean, you really are putting yourself up to be shot down because you're the decision maker.
Hi, my name's Nick Sykes. I'm originally from Huddersfield in West Yorkshire, and over the last few years I've made most of my money through property renovating. The thing that I'm looking forward to the most about this programme is being able to find out the trade secrets of being a detective. By instinct, I'm quite a nosy, kind of investigative kind of guy.
Mel, Rory and Andrew have arrived at Jay Wilmington's barge. Jay is one of the 8 remaining suspects.
The key's missing.
So where'd you keep the key?
I keep it just in a tin, which is in there.
Okay.
So I've been careful not to touch anything.
Right, bend over.
The investigators have been taught how to dust for prints at the scene of a break-in. Will they remember how to do it properly?
I mean, it's bizarre because it's usually quite messy. But some of the washing up's been done and the bed's been made.
Okay, the fingerprint is still there.
Mel and Rory managed to get a print off the door handle, leaving Andrew to interrogate Jay.
Where was the spare key?
Andrew was doing a lot of the talking with him, which I think I would have rather have done it myself because I feel I could have got a lot more information out of him.
So do you think it was, how was she murdered and everything?
Have you heard the word murder mentioned to you by anyone?
Well, I mean, she was obviously murdered though, wasn't she?
No, not obviously. I mean,
Isn't that not...
No, that's not been made official at this stage, Jay. Hi, my name is Andrew Weaver. I live in the West Country and I'm a farmer. I have 2 children, Emma and Nigel, a wife called Andrea and a dog called Gizmo. People, when they first meet me, they think, oh, he's charming. What a personality he's got. How lucky she must be to be married to him.
Darkness is falling fast at the burnt-out car, but Meryl, Sam and Sarita seem more interested in putting up another crime scene cordon than searching the wreckage.
Should we have started this far back?
Well, the thing is, it's getting dark now. We must find what we can round the car.
Inside the burnt-out wreckage, one vital piece of evidence has survived the fire. This is the hidden test for Team 2. They need to find it and bag it.
Carcass?
No, I don't think so. It looks like flesh. Cars normally have a tracker. What's this?
Has it got a tracker?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Could be something on a standard car, but I don't know.
The trouble is we don't know enough about cars.
Yeah, we found our thing. Where? Look, this. Oh, the detonator thing. Is the yeah. Oh, excellent. Well done.
I was gathering in the cordon, and you're thinking, well, he could come back to watch what you're doing, and I'm going around shining my torch, just sort of thinking,
Hopefully, amongst all that lot, we found something of some importance.
I don't know what that tracker thing was in the boot. Could be part of a CD system. No, we won't mention it.
No, I take full
Should I come over and look
responsibility.
at it? I'll be going out there again playing the killer's game. No, I won't.
Oh, for goodness sake, you two, I can't stand this for another 2 days.
Sarita is starting to get on her teammates' nerves.
I'm a big girl.
there are some people in this world who pull you up and some people who drag you down, and personally, I just feel she's a dragger down. She's always whinging about food, and I mean, I'm being really horrible, and I don't like being horrible, but it's the truth.
This team may, seem a little bit tense because I don't always agree with Sarita, so I feel as if I'm nagging a bit in this team.
It's not just her sloppiness on investigations, it's her whole self.
at the house, lead investigator Nick is chairing the nightly case conference. The topic tonight is the Wilmington family, but former lead investigator Richard seems to be having trouble relinquishing power.
What was the alibi? Jennifer's alibi?
Jennifer's alibi, she says that Jay was in the house, but...
No, what was Jennifer's alibi?
Yeah, she said...
in the house.
When I first met Richard, I thought he was a really nice guy, and I've totally changed my opinion on him now. I've got to the point where I really dislike his attitude.
But why? Because Jay was in the house, that her alibi. Was she in the house as well?
Yeah. And even though now that Nick is team leader, Richard is still trying to get in there and sort of, just trying to be the man.
If Melody comes up with a theory, I then question that, and I don't think she appreciates the manner in which I do so. You just told me that Jennifer had stated that Jay was in the house with him.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like maybe the odd comment where you feel as though you've got the group meeting going on and he's almost rising too high, so you get down. It's, I'm the team leader now. So I suppose in a way I feel like John Major with Mrs. Thatcher still in the background.
Burnt out, basically. There was
For Andrew, the line between reality and fiction has become blurred. He's reminiscing about Jennifer Wilmington.
You could sit down with her not as an interrogator, but as a friend.
As a friend, right?
And you could get. I'm being serious. You could get.
Andrew, are you sure you're not being swayed in any way?
Yes, letting your personal feelings.
I love that woman. She's 6'3", I'm 5'2", but I'm going to comment. As Mervyn said, stand up, Andy.
Another day has ended on the investigation into Catherine Pryor's death, and there are more questions than answers for the investigators. Where's Dean Garrity? Nothing's been seen or heard of him since the day of Catherine's murder. What was the vital evidence in the getaway car the killer was trying to destroy? And who broke into Jay Wilmington's barge and why? Was it someone he knew? It's late and the investigators head for bed. Across town, prime suspect Dean Garrity lies low in a secret hideaway. Will the investigators find him before it's too late?
What? Big bang. Now? Bang, bang.
Yes, bang, bang, bang.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Oh,
Right.
Jesus.
Oh, bloody Laura.
Plastered on the patio windows in blood are several Polaroid photographs. It's a message from the killer.
Rory, you're in the picture, look.
Where shall I hold him up from?
There you are, look.
The killer wants two investigators to go separately to the locations on the photos, Dead End Farm and the tyre yard. At one, they'll find a clue that takes them closer to the killer. At the other, the killer will be waiting to eliminate them from the game.
It's macabre. I mean, blood pouring down a window, and you think, what's on the photos? And it's just very unpleasant. And you think, oh, the killer's been. I do sometimes even go into our bathroom or something, and there's a cupboard further on, and you just think, oh, you know he's not going to be there, but it does make you sort of slightly twitchy.
Most people pitch in to help, but Sarita settles down with a cup of tea while Andrew disappears into the kitchen.
Morning. Have we found Dean yet?
No.
We need to find Dean as soon as possible. He's a prime suspect. Yesterday, Dean made a call to Jennifer Wilmington's number at 11:06. Team 3, Rory, Melanie, Andrew. You saw Jennifer Wilmington.
Yeah.
Did you ask Jennifer if
asked
she'd
her-
spoken to Dean?
I asked her when was the last time she'd spoken to Dean, and she said that it was at the night of the rehearsal.
Well, I haven't seen him since the rehearsal, actually.
She's lied to you. Why do you think she's lied to you?
trying to hide something, obviously.
What do you think that might be?
Dean?
You think she might be covering up for Dean? Let's talk about your lines of inquiry for today, Team 3. You need to go back and see Jennifer Wilmington. Plant a bug on her. Jennifer Wilmington might be tipping Dean off. We know they're in contact. They might be in collusion. So get those bugs planted and don't get caught. Let's move on to Team 2. Samantha, Meryl, Sarita, you went out to bring back clues from Dean's abandoned car.
The cars normally have a tracker. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
What's the function of a tracker unit? What does it actually do?
I don't know what a tracker box did. Track the location of the car?
Exactly. Well, it's a good thing I sent the exhibit officer out to bring back the tracker unit.
When a team fails to get a clue, the chief can step in to help them. The tracker unit's records show that on the night of the murder, the wedding car stopped beside a sluice pond in remote farmland for 1 minute during the early hours. This looks suspicious, so the new line of inquiry for Team 2 is to search that area.
If your fingertips are not red, raw and bleeding, you haven't done the job right. Is that clear?
Yes, Chief.
Team 1, let's talk about your line of inquiry.
Okay, we went to the caravan site looking for Catherine's caravan, and we were approached by Frank Pryor.
What happened then?
Frank then told us that he changed the locks on the caravan, and the key we had no longer would open that door.
Why did he do that? Did you ask him why he changed the locks?
No.
You think you should have done? The murder victim's father has changed the locks on the caravan, and you didn't think you should have asked him why? Let's talk about the envelope. Have you worked out what it means?
We think it's a meeting. We think it was a doodle that Catherine may have done whilst on the telephone, and we believe that Catherine was due to meet somebody at that location.
Okay, Team 1, I want you to get there. I want you to see if anyone shows up. But you must stick together. Don't get spotted and don't get separated. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you think you know where you're going?
Not at the moment, but we will clarify that during the day.
But you hope to establish that sometime before you arrive?
We certainly do.
Let's hope so. Remember, suspect everyone. Trust no one.
Mel, Rory and Andrew are pulling up half a mile away from Creeksy Place. They've got to try and bug Jennifer Wilmington. To help them with this task is John Davidson, a real electronic surveillance expert.
Today I'm going to ask you to do something which is very, very risky. I want you to put this on to the person that you're meeting today. If they're wearing something that's got pockets on top or down below, and there's an opportunity to slide this into the pocket and then slip it in, okay? And only do it if you think you can do it, okay?
If we've got any doubts, John,
Don't do it.
don't.
If you can't do it, then don't do it, okay?
After a quick masterclass on how to use the equipment, Team 3 are on their way. 10 minutes later, Andrew, Mel and Rory are in. They're in luck. Jennifer is alone.
She's upstairs.
Oh, is she?
She's having some tea or something like that.
Yeah, I'd love
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a minute.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
They've got 6 bugs to plant, but only a couple of minutes to do it in. Andrew tries some delaying tactics.
Jennifer, I'm sorry to trouble you. There's not a chance of a biscuit, is there? I'm absolutely famished.
By the time Jennifer returns, all the bugs are planted, except the riskiest one, the one that needs to be actually attached to Jennifer.
I've been rather worried about Jay.
At least, I mean, he's got a few people that he can sort of...
Well, he's got Dean, who's his best
Exactly.
friend. When you
Yeah.
talk to him, I mean, he's just lovely.
Andrew might feel close to Jennifer, but he's not close enough to plant the final bug on her.
Please, I won't be a tick.
That'd be fantastic.
All right.
He opts for her cardigan instead.
Did you turn it on?
Yeah.
Did you turn yours on? Quick, go and get it.
No compromise?
We got them all in.
Great.
He managed to put one in her cardigan.
Gone and let it on the settee that she'd obviously
He's
put on
put it in the
later, so I
pocket,
popped
so-
it in the pocket there. Fantastic.
Now Team 3 have to put the bugs to use. They're provided with listening and camera equipment, but there are also a couple of things they weren't expecting.
Any guesses what that's for?
It's not for peeing.
Absolutely. That's exactly what
I
it's
love
for.
some of that.
Okay then. That's exactly what that's for. Yeah. And if you need to do anything else, then there's a plastic bag there, there's toilet roll there, and then what you do is you wrap it up, you put it back in here, and then put the lid back on for obvious reasons. Okay?
That's great, John.
Just once you're in there, anything you have to do, i.e. go to the toilet, that you do it inside there. The thing that's going to compromise you is movement. As soon as you start moving around in there, people are going to pick up on it. Any questions? Nope.
John has spotted an old hut that Team 3 can use as an observation point. They need to sneak up to it as silently as possible to avoid being seen.
No.
Bollocks.
Do we know where this little hut is?
Is this definitely the right route, boys? They don't mean the treehouse. Does he? He said a small metal hut on the right-hand side. Small metal hut? That's a wooden hut up a tree.
Yo.
After failing to find the hut by using the bushes as cover, they take their chances and head straight across the lawn. Once in position, they must wait.
It's just a check-up. How are you? How's Sophie?
Meanwhile, Meryl, Sam and Sarita are heading out to search the remote sluice ponds. This is where the tracker unit pinpointed the killer's car stopping in the dead of night. A police search team is already there to kit them out for the task ahead.
You can see the metal detectors behind you. Sweeps over it.
Do we put our hands in the water and dig?
Well, you've been issued with gloves.
Mm-hmm.
The pond is there.
It's time for Team 3's hidden test. Lying under the water are 4 different pieces of metal, all of them possible murder weapons.
Needle in a haystack.
Can they discover the right one to take back to HQ for forensic examination?
Found it. It was crowbarred or whatever it is. Can we just log one copper pipe bent, hideously out of shape?
Never in a million years did I think I would be sat in a little metal hut spying on somebody, which was absolutely fantastic.
Back at the sluice pond, and Sarita is in danger of damaging the metal detector's sensitive electronics by getting them wet.
Get the battery box out of the water, ladies, okay?
Battery box.
Sweep.
But the warning is too late. She's broken it.
Marvellous. I just like it to be noted for record. We don't have enough equipment.
Meryl has now braved the pond to lend a hand. Sarita has borrowed Sam's detector and got a beep exactly where the murder weapon is. All she has to do now is get her hands in and search.
Oh, you kids, you're all wimps.
But the cold water proves too much, and she opts for the detector again.
Sarita.
Sarita's blown it. She's broken the last working metal detector.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think my team were happy with me about that at all. I wouldn't have been happy.
Well, without the metal detectors, it's like looking for a needle in a bloody haystack.
Well, this is what we're doing, isn't it?
Mervyn and Richard have found GF Mills, the location scribbled on the envelope found in Catherine's caravan. The line of inquiry is to find a place to hide and see who turns up.
The only thing, we need to be able to see the person, not just hear them. And what if they come upstairs?
Look around here, look. Is that signs of somebody coming back?
Somebody living there.
It's Dean Garrity. He's here for the meeting, but he's early. Will Richard and Mervyn remember the chief's advice and not get spotted?
Would we actually have to be up here? Just have to...
Someone's coming. Oh, Steve! Stay together. Leave it. Seen him.
No, Dean was there.
Yeah, it was Dean. Come, go away and see who comes back. When you look around the building, something's going to happen upstairs.
Right, that was an RXP.
RXP?
Yeah, AJ02 RXP.
Despite chasing away one of their main suspects, Richard and Mervyn decide it's still worth waiting to see who else turns up. They look for somewhere to hide.
Yeah. Hey.
Let's get my... You can't see me, Carl.
Ten minutes later, Catherine's babysitter, Vanessa March, arrives to discover Dean's not there. This time, Mervyn and Richard keep a low profile.
Slap them together, bang them together.
What?
Do you feel as though you want to go on for another 5-10 minutes? How do you feel?
I cannot feel my hands or my feet.
I can't give up.
Even if we did a fingertip search.
I can't give up.
Cold is in the mind, Sunita, okay? So put it in the back of your mind.
I'm not cold, I just can't feel anything.
Just can't feel anything. Come on. Right, now, fingertip search, go. Tell me when you've had enough, mind, all right?
Oh. What do you want to sing? Come out tomorrow. Back to gondola. Back tomorrow.
Please.
Got it! I've got it! I think it's... Bloody hell, I've got it! Oh, I've got cramp too!
After an excruciating 2.5 hours in the icy water, Team 2 have finally found something they're praying is the murder weapon.
Socks off too much.
It's a garden trowel.
I think we did really well because we didn't give up.
There it goes.
We were in that water for 2.5 hours, freezing and numb.
It was very cold, and hopefully we found what we were sent to find. It'd be awful if we hadn't.
Darkness is fast approaching as Merrill, Sam and Sarita head back to base. No such luck for the other two teams. They sit it out in the cold, waiting for something to happen. After 4 hours standing in the cold, Mel needs the toilet, and she's not supposed to leave the hut. The ex-lap dancer suddenly becomes very shy by using the plastic bottle in front of her colleagues and heads into the darkness.
Looks like the young girls come out of the shed to go to the toilet. They were told not to do that.
I mean, having to pee in front of a whole camera crew and some of the people that I'm currently living with, it was quite mortifying. So I'm getting sort of like actually quite proud of myself, really, that, you know, I can, you know, I am strong enough to do things like that.
Bloody useless. Absolutely useless.
Back at GF Mills, Mervyn and Richard are starting to realise the rendezvous isn't going to happen.
Where are you?
Vanessa.
We arranged this ages ago. Where are you?
I was there.
Come on, Dean. I need to talk to you. I'm not joking anymore.
Listen, I'll give you a call later, yeah?
Fine. Okay. Bye.
With Vanessa gone, Team 1 call it a night.
That was not Catherine's doodles. That's Vanessa Doodles.
Yeah.
What was it doing in her caravan, in Catherine's caravan?
She babysits.
Yeah.
Back at Creeksea, Team 3 has spotted Trevor Doby coming up the path.
I'm in here, darling.
He's the local builder who lives in Creeksea's annex. Trevor is also a suspect in the murder case.
Hi.
How are you doing?
All right, how are you?
Yeah.
You're early. Can I drink or something?
No, it's all right. So, what's with the special delivery? What? This tape.
What do you mean?
It was on my doorstep. I thought you put it there.
Of course I didn't.
Well, you put it on. I mean...
Well, why not? It's on there. Put it on. What's that? It's Catherine.
That must have been...
On the day of the wedding. What was Dean doing on it?
It's Dean's missing tape. He claims it was stolen. Now the killer has left it on Trevor's doorstep.
I knew when he phoned me. He phoned me yesterday and he said, don't tell anyone that I phoned you. And he's looking for Jay. And then the investigators came and they asked who he was and I didn't tell them.
You didn't tell them?
No, I didn't tell them. What are we going to do?
We're going to give it to the investigators.
Do you think?
Incident room, Nick speaking.
This is Jennifer Wilmington.
Jennifer explains the tape to Nick, who then immediately calls Mel.
Fuck off.
No.
Trevor's left the room. Don't. Just give him the tape.
Okay.
You feel all right?
Can you call me?
Yeah.
Go on, tell me.
I can't hear you, Mel. Are you in the house?
We're undercover.
Hi.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
We're undercover. I can't talk.
What about the other two? Are they with you?
Yes, they're undercover as well.
Nick eventually explains to Mel that she has to go and get the tape.
Hello, Mrs. Wilmington. We were just in the area.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Oh,
Indeed. That's it.
okay. Thank you very much, then.
Thanks for your help, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Take care.
Keep that log fire burning bright.
I will. Oh, that's all I do.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mel, Rory and Andrew were told to leave no trace of their operation. It seems to have slipped from their minds.
The first thing that strikes me as I come into the shed is obviously the bottle in the corner, which is here, which is half full of urine.
What did you do with your pee bottle?
Left it there.
Oh,
The other thing on this side is a plastic bag with a Duracell camera battery inside. Oh, and what we here looks like an earpiece. All in all, really, pretty pathetic.
Do you know what? As cheesy as this might sound, even if we do get filled today, all three of us together have been a brilliant team.
Yeah,
I mean, we've worked really well together.
Because you get on better, a little bit on better. If you don't get on with somebody, you don't want to work with them, do you?
And I was fucking dreading being on the same team as Richard.
I know.
Any bastard puts me on the same team as him, and I would fucking shoot myself.
By the end of the day, there have been lots of new developments in the case.
Was the one that killed her.
Team 2 think they've recovered the murder weapon. The tape Dean shot of Catherine in the church just before she died has been found by Team 3. And Team 1 found missing Dean Garrity, but then lost him and any information he may have had. The chief is back for the final briefing. First, some unfinished business.
Evening. Team 3, I understand you've got Dean's video.
We did, yes.
Let's take a look.
Did you hear that? It was so good. Is it alright? God, I'm so nervous about it. It's such a tough piece, you know?
I don't think you've got anything to worry about.
No, I just wish you'd chosen something easier for me, I tell you. What are you doing, Dean?
Get the thing on.
busy girl, I've got to practice this. No, I'm serious. Come on.
Oh, shit, lecturer's come.
So what does that tell you?
Dean and Catherine are having some sort of relationship. Friendly, more than friendly, one would think.
Where's Dean now?
He's in hiding.
Don't know where he is. Is there anything else you noticed on there?
Well, I was just going to say Catherine was wearing the necklace.
Well spotted, Merrill. On the other video you saw, which the killer took, it's missing. Now this is the necklace that Goldie asked about at the morgue.
There should have been a necklace. I was hoping there was going to be a necklace.
Where is it? Who do you think might have it, Rory?
Killer might have it.
It's time to choose the two investigators to go out and play the killer's game. The chief will now judge the teams on their performance over the last 2 days.
Team 1, Mervyn and Richard. On day 1, you were asked to do an intelligence search, so you found an envelope with a rendezvous code on it. That was good. On day 2, you succeeded in identifying the rendezvous point, so you went down there. Shall we take a look? What were you doing? When I sent you out on the line of inquiry, what did I say? Don't get spotted. You turned a covert operation into the Blackwater Half Marathon. Would you both agree that you mucked the whole thing up?
Yeah, I would.
Well, Mervyn, Richard, I have no choice. I have to fail you on your line of inquiry.
Richard and Mervyn can now be voted for to play the killer's game.
Let's talk about Team 2's lines of inquiry. Samantha, Merrill, Sarita. On day 1, you searched the car. Day 2, you followed the tracker records. And it took you to some sluice ponds. What did you find?
We found, after a long search, 2.5 hours approximately in the water, we finally found a trowel.
A trowel?
Yes, we believed may have been dumped there by whoever had stopped there.
So the killer might have dumped his trowel?
It could have been the murder weapon.
It could have been the murder weapon?
We thought the
I have dealt with a lot of murders in my time, but I've never known anybody attack anybody with a trowel. So again, I had to send my boys in. You got them in?
Because Team 2 missed the clue, the police search team had to get the murder weapon from the pond and send it off to the lab.
I'm very disappointed because I really thought we'd found something.
It was a lot of wet and cold for very little.
Listen, all the detective worries about is if they're still breathing. Not bothered about heat and cold.
Oh yeah.
You get there and you do the job.
We thought we had.
So, I am failing you.
Now, Sam, Merrill and Sarita are also facing the vote.
Team 3. No laughing matter. But let's look back on day 1.
Team 3 only fingerprinted the door handle on Jay's barge. They're beginning to wonder if that was enough.
The sample that you took, Mel, forensics could not get a print off it. What do burglars do when they break windows to get into houses or boats? They pick the glass out of the corners to get the hand through. And what do they leave behind, Rory?
Fingerprints.
So, once again, I had to send the boys in. I've got the results from the lab. Let's take a look.
Right. There is a match between the prints found at the scene and 2 of the people involved in the murder inquiry. The first set of prints belongs to the barge owner, Jay Wilmington. The second set of prints have now been identified. They belong to Catherine Pryor.
Do you see what you missed?
Yep.
What have you got to say for yourselves?
Missed it, Chief. It was an obvious thing to really look at.
Feel stupid now because it was the most obvious thing to lift.
So Rory, Mel, Andrew, I am failing you on your lines of inquiry.
Rory, Mel and Andrew are also facing the vote. All three teams have failed.
Do you know what a Muppet is? When I was in the force, a Muppet stood for the most useless police person ever trained. There's enough Muppets in this room to make a movie.
Don't laugh.
It's time for the group vote, which decides who will be the first to play the killer's game. The vote is held in secret in a soundproof room.
Tonight I'm voting for Rory, because whilst he has the skills, I don't believe he applies himself fully.
I will be voting for Richard. Because I didn't want to fail and we shouldn't have failed that task.
Sarita, she broke both of the metal detectors, which obviously hindered the line of inquiry, and hence we failed to get the murder weapon.
I'm afraid it has to be Sarita, Chief. I think today was the final straw.
I'm going to vote for Meryl. Meryl is possibly having difficulty understanding that there are very specific tasks we are required to do and gets sidetracked.
At the halfway point, Richard, Rory and Meryl are tied on 1 vote each, but Sarita has 2.
I feel that Meryl is becoming rather a matriarch figure, and I'm feeling it's causing a slight rift.
I'm going to vote for Sarita because from what the other groups have been saying, she is messing up the investigation.
Tonight I'm voting for Meryl because I think Sam was on the right track of getting the tracker and she's again put her off the track.
Thank you, Rory.
Cheers.
It's a tied vote between Meryl and Sarita. Everyone has to vote again, and it's not long before the chief has the result.
The first person to play the killer's game tonight will be Sarita.
The second person to play is picked by the lead investigator. Everyone is hoping they've been nice enough to Nick.
I'm really proud of everything that you've done this week, and I've had to pick one of you, so I want to be fair, and so it's completely based on teamwork. I want to take us back to the morning when the Polaroids and blood were found on our dining room windows. The only person that I had to go and ask for information was Andrew. So my choice tonight has to be Andrew.
The 2 locations for the killer's game are in sealed blank envelopes.
Sarita, you choose first.
At one location will be a vital clue, at the other, the killer. The lethal location is predetermined and locked away in a safe. The chief has no idea where the killer will be waiting.
The tyre yard.
Dead end farm.
Good luck. I think you really are going to need it.
The 2 investigators travel separately and alone. Both are hoping to find the clue, but one will come face to face with the killer and be eliminated from the game. When they arrive at their locations, they are rigged with infrared cameras and sent out into the darkness to meet their fate.
3 blind mice.
Who's there?
Stop the machine! Who is it? Special investigator!
Where are you? Please stop the machine. I want to get out.
3 blind mice.
Who's there?
Christ almighty, it's absolutely horrendous. To the max. With the greatest respect, ladies, if one of you'd have went out on that, with respect, I don't know if you'd have ever survived.
Get that on your son.
Really?
It was that bad.
Really?
It was that bad.
Next week on The Murder Game, a press conference gets out of control.
I can't answer that.
So you can't actually tell us anything, really?
A frosty reception is in store with the reclusive last suspect.
Make yourself feel at home, are you?
That was a dirty old man.
And there are tragic results when Jay leads the investigators to Dean Garrity.
I trust you.
No, they're just with me. They gave me...
What's going on?
Digital viewers press red now to play Detective at Home and see the clue Andrew brought back from the Killer's Game. For more of the investigators, switch to BBC 3 or Inside HQ.